as like a bionic appendage or something. But so I'm grateful because I know I can talk to them at any time. And if I'm traveling or working or whatever, I have the ability to talk to them. And that feels pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Happy to pay for that.
I know, right? Because you never know what they're doing, those people. Those teenager people. Um, yeah. So if you had a tip for someone out there who is struggling with money or debt or feeling like they're drowning, what would it be?
Well, I have two tips because number one, you have to forgive yourself.
Yes.
Number one, if you don't pass through the forgiveness, then you're always going to struggle. So you need to be able to forgive and move on and release that. And then number two is consistency.
Yeah.
Whether you feel like doing the money date or not, do it. It's just like a relationship with your significant other. Whether you feel like going out on date night or not, you do it if you want that marriage to survive.
Totally. Right?
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to, like, I love my money date because I know it's like the time where I'm not like answering emails or like messages or things like that, and I get like a yummy tea and I have music on and I light a candle and I got oils going, and it's like a whole ritual for me.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. And actually this morning I tried adding in a new thing that you just taught me, Michelle, with the crystal grid.
Oh, yes.
I'm so doing that every week now.
Right?
Yeah.
Crystal grids are so much fun. Oh my God. I can't
That's
even
a whole different topic.
I know, right? Like, I can't even handle it. It's like, I had a couple of people say, could you do a class on crystal grids? I'm like, can I? Yes.
Yeah,
I could do like
amazing.
A whole bunch of classes on crystal grids. But, yeah. So that's your tip, right? Develop your relationship with money.
Yeah, and just stay consistent with it. I mean, I can share a little story about a couple weeks ago. I woke up on a Monday morning and decided that my money date wasn't a priority. And I can tell you how quickly my week fell apart because I just decided it wasn't more important than other things that I had to do. And come Thursday afternoon, I realized that money date is a non-negotiable now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The anxiety you get is just ridiculous if you don't do it.
Totally. And now crystal grids are a non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
So did you make your crystal grid?
I did. I shared a picture with you earlier today.
Oh, did you? Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I was like bombarded with emails today because I'm heading up your way tomorrow afternoon.
I'm so excited.
Had a lot of stuff to do.
I did a little bit different thing with the crystal grid, though.
What did you do?
I went to the metaphysical store here in Penticton, and they don't sell them because they recommend that you just print a mandala off of the internet.
Right.
So I came home and printed one, but then I did a meditative coloring of the mandala, and then I put the crystals on it.
That's a good one because your energy has gone into that piece of paper, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That's why, like, a lot of times I tell people it's great if you can carve your own or even draw your own out. Have some kind of personal involvement with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I got to tell you, though, I mean, the difference between me last year and now this year, I mean, I've always been the get shit done girl, but last year I was head down, blinders on, don't bother me, I've got shit to do. And now I'm like, hey, what's up? I got to color something so I can get shit done. It's great. A lot different.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's talk about that a little bit because I think that's a good point, right?
Mm-hmm.
The head down, tasking, working hard, it's got to feel like a struggle. I got things to do, don't talk to me. And I have been there myself, right? Like, that was my story for a lot of years. Doesn't it doesn't like support the laws of the universe.
No, absolutely not.
Right?
And in fact, it goes against them.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. And I was raised with that mentality that you work hard and you go, 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 and eventually you'll be successful. And that's total, utter bullshit.
Right. Right.
If you get an alignment and you do things that you're supposed to do that are in line with your purpose and what you're trying to create in this world, then all of a sudden the work, quote unquote, becomes like play. And don't get me wrong, there are days where I will work a 12-hour day, but it does not feel like work. It feels like, woohoo, this is amazing. And then I take the next day off and don't do anything and I go golfing.
Right.
But going golfing gives me that space to allow my brain to think and come up with new ideas and give me that space and freedom that I need in order to move on to the next piece.
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing, right? Like, you know, I do happen to be a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks about the grind and the hustle and stuff, right? I don't believe in the grind because I think that you can work a lot. It doesn't have to feel like work. It feels fun and exciting, and so it's not like it. I don't like the word grind or hustle because it's not a grind or hustle to me.
No, that feels
like,
heavy.
I'm having fun. And that's
right?
what I think about him, because a lot of people who believe in like the law of attraction and stuff like that, they're like, oh yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about all this, like, you know, you got to work hard, you got to do, like, yeah, he talks about that, but it's because that's what he loves. Like, he's having fun while he's doing it. Like, have you seen the guy?
Right?
He's in his fucking zone at whatever he's doing. So to me, that's the differentiating factor. It doesn't mean that you don't work or you don't take action or you don't even have, you know, incredibly long days or whatever. It just means that it feels fun. It doesn't feel like we have been brainwashed to think work is supposed to feel like, right?
Exactly. And if you think about it, I mean, if you're sitting in front of your computer doing the hustle and the grind and you feel like shit, then what's the point? And you're putting that energy into your work, that energy is going to come through on the other side and people are going to be like, what the hell is this? Whereas if you were like totally lit up about something and you worked for 12 hours straight, but it felt like play, and your people are going to notice that. And they're going to be like, oh my God, I need in.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I share, like, when I'm traveling. I, you know, traveled quite a bit this year, but when I'm traveling and it's work, right?
Yep.
Every single trip I've taken this year has been work related.
And sitting on the beach in Mexico is work.
It's work.
Absolutely.
And it's so funny. My kids are like, well, it's not really work, Mom. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's what work looks like. When you like, when you work it, that's what work looks like.
That's right. Hey, me going golfing is work because my mind is always thinking about the next step. But going golfing allows me to have that space to think.
Right.
I think that there's some quote out there, I don't know who it is, but I think it might have been Bob Proctor, that every successful person out there schedules time to think.
Right.
Yeah. And none of us do that because we're so busy hustling and grinding.
Doing and tasking and this and that, right?
Blech.
Yeah. That sounds gross.
Where's the freedom in that, Michelle?
No, there's no freedom in that. Right? That doesn't exist.
Not even a little bit. Yeah.
Not even a little bit. That's, well, I think like that's amazing. You've given people your real life experience, some great tips. Like it's awesome because the whole point of me being on the radio in this show is to change how we interact with money, change how we create money, and shift the paradigm there, right? Because it doesn't have to feel like it used to feel. Like we're not living in the Depression. Right?
No.
Like we're very lucky. If you're listening to me, you probably have a computer or an iPhone or something like that, and so you're not, living in the garbage dump in South America somewhere. So you're pretty fucking lucky. So like, let's concentrate on gratitude for that. Mm-hmm. And when you use gratitude and forgiveness, you just elevate your frequency. And when you do that, you become more in line with your inner being and your inner divinity. And then you are working with the law of attraction.
Absolutely. And it gets you out of the Wall Street mentality where it's competition. Oh and
God.
Instead, you can just do your thing, and you end up collaborating with people that are amazing and doing unbelievable things and having such a huge impact on the world because of it.
Yeah, like I think back to, in my 20s, I worked not on Wall Street, but I worked on the trading floor in Citibank in London. And it was just like that Wall Street movie from the 80s or the 90s or whatever. It was like cutthroat, right? Like people were killing each other to like make deals.
Yeah.
And I think back to that, and there, there was a lot of money flowing around, but there was also a lot of losses. Right?
Yeah, and I feel like there was that energy of competition attached to all that money, which, that doesn't feel good at all.
No, and what I can tell you as an observer and with the knowledge I have now, I can see people's money stories like a book in front of them. It's like you so badly want to get rid of that money you just made that you don't feel good about, that you're like hooker and blowing it up all over the place, right?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Right?
That just explained half the world to me. Thank you, Michelle.
Right? Like, you can't even stand having this money because you feel so gross about it that you just need to get rid of it any way possible.
That's
Maybe
so true.
should have ticked the explicit content box today. Oh my God. No one listens to my show anyways.
Hey, don't put that out there.
No, just joking. So, do you have anything else to share? Your tips, tricks, your get shit done, gal awesomeness?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to understand what is a priority in your life. And I do have a little freebie download PDF thing that you can get that's called a creativity cleanse that really helps you dive into what the priorities are in your life so that you can focus on the most important things and actually get shit done while still having that freedom. So that's definitely available. It's on my website at cindyvanarnam.com/creativity. Super easy to find. But it's all about having that priority and knowing what's the most important thing and getting rid of all the other shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, narrowing your offering.
Oh God. Yeah. Do you know how many offers I've cut out of my business in the last year?
How many?
Nope. Not doing that. Nope. Not doing that. Oh, I've probably cut out about 20 different things that I'm capable of doing. Right. Because I was the get shit done girl, I could do anything. You throw some technology at me, I can figure it out, and that was easy for me. But it was, just because it was easy doesn't mean it's what I need to be doing.
Well, and that leans into the whole concept of your zone of genius, which comes from the big leap, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta be operating in your zone of genius if you want to live the amazing life that you want. And
absolutely.
Your zone of genius may or may not include, setting up ConvertKit, for example. Mine does not include setting up anything that's technology-wise at all.
No, it doesn't.
I got the people to do that.
That's right.
Most of the time. But yeah, know your zone of genius. And if you don't know your zone of genius, find it. Because
absolutely.
It probably maybe is not what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
I thought I was in my zone of genius, and I wasn't. I was actually in my zone of excellence.
Yeah. And honestly, to be totally honest, I have only just, as of today, found my zone of genius.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tell us what